I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Welcome to the Super Pilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I'm going to be telling you all about how I got busted at the border, man. Well, not really. I had to pay some duty because apparently, ooh, we got, and not, yes, I know. He said duty. Ha 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 ha. Everyone has a poop joke when it comes to that duty word. But anyways, yeah, it's like I went and bought a book over there on Wednesday, and they said, pull it over, pal, and I had to pay some cash. We got some kind of trade war, tariffs, some kind of thing going on. But it's kind of interesting because I live in Windsor, Ontario, which is right on the border of Detroit. The United States and Canada. Detroit's just a bit to the northwest of us, and because we kind of tuck underneath, the only place in Canada where we kind of tuck underneath the United States, if you check it out on a map. But so went over there, and it's. I was going to say the in the olden days before we had. There was free trade, then it turned to NAFTA, and then it turned into the USMCA. It was like there's always like kind of people that were like shopping in Detroit, and then people from Detroit used to come over to Windsor too. And there's all this kind of like low grade smuggling that went on to avoid taxes and duty. So it kind of feels like that now, like back to my childhood when everyone used to smuggle stuff over and try not to pay the tax on it, which is it's very unique to Windsor here and Detroit because we're a border community and we have a long history of smuggling and stuff like that, getting around. Just like now, the thing is, I am not in favor of smuggling anything that's like super illegal, the bad stuff. But like back in the Prohibition days in Windsor, we used to make Canadian Club whiskey here and ship it over to the States. They were quite happy to get our product here, and bunch of because of that illegality, there was Al Capone visiting and the Purple Gang and a whole bunch of other fun people hanging around Windsor. And then, we try not to talk too much about politics here on the Super Pilotish channel, but when it comes to airplanes, like I talk about sometimes, or airplanes are heavily regulated by the government, so you kind of got to touch. I mean, government kind of touches your whole life all the time, so you got to talk about it a little bit. But we will not be partisan here. So, okay, so I went over there on Wednesday to pick up a book because I heard through the grapevine that there was some signed copies at the Barnes and Noble out in Troy, Troy is just it's a city, I guess. It's kind of like a suburb of Detroit. It's just a bit north of Detroit. Once you're over across the border, it's about a 20-minute drive, something like that. So I heard that one of the guys I follow on Twitter, X, Jason Wilson, he lives over in Detroit, and he trains like young kids how to do martial arts and give them some confidence and really pretty good advice. And I kind of like watching his stuff every once in a while because he has. I consider him to be a very good instructor. Like I teach people how to fly, so he teaches kids how to do jujitsu and all kinds of fun stuff and just about life in general. So I think he's a pretty good teacher. Seems like a decent guy. And I heard on the X that there was a signed copy of his latest book. I'm not going to do a review on his book here. There we go, signed edition. Check it out. It's called The Man the Moment Demands. I just started reading it here the other day. I'll probably do a book review on it. It's kind of fun. And then it's a signed copy too. There we go. That cost me extra. And I'll tell you why. Not for that, but I mean, you could get this stuff off of Amazon here in Canada. And I think if you're buying books from Amazon that are like self-published on Amazon, or I don't know, I have seen it before where they're kind of published in Toronto and then they ship them down here to Windsor or other places in Canada. So they're technically published in Canada. So I think they're exempt from any of these tariffs and things that are going on right now. But I bought mine in Detroit or Troy. And so it came back and like, it was like, what was the cost here? It was $19.99. Actually, I got the receipt here. It's like 1999 US dollars. So that's about $10,000 Canadian. I know the exchange is pretty nuts these days, but how much was that total? 20 with state sales tax. It was $21.19. So US American dollars. So it's like, okay, I'm thinking like $20 for a book. Who cares? Like before any of this, I gotta look good here. Yeah, before all of this, I don't know, trade war, tariff stuff, it was like you could go over there and get. I mean, the people at the customs people at the border, you come back, you just tell them what you did. It's like, what'd you do? I bought a book, $20. Whatever, good enough. Anything else? But they really want to see is like, are you bringing back any alcohol or tobacco? Because then they can get big tax on that. And it seems like they've been like asking lately if you've been back any like firearms and weapons and stuff. It's like, dude, I'm from Windsor. You gonna start bringing firearms across the border and weapons and stuff? Are you nuts? So I always laugh when they say that because firearms, like, no. Like, what are you, crazy? I mean, there is a way. I think there's some way of legally doing that if you're going hunting or something like that, but whatever. What are they going to ask you if you I was I was going to if this wasn't on YouTube, I'd go way off the rails on this one, but I'm not gonna. Okay, so yeah, I was like, I told the guy, yeah, I got a book. What are the value? What's the value of the goods you're bringing back? I'm like, $20 US. He's like, oh, and he closes the window, fills out a little piece of paper, and he says, like, pull it over there and do what they say. And I'm like, come on, man. I have heard of like horror stories of, they pull you over, and I did this one guy up in Sault Ste. Marie. He said the customs, they ripped his whole car apart, like back seat out and everything. They're expecting to find something. They didn't find anything. But I don't know if it's like that. But back in the day, if they ripped your car all apart looking for contraband, something, they'd be like, all right, you put it back together. See ya. You're free to go. Just put your car seat back in. And like the guy's like, got any wrenches or anything? No. So yeah, I forget what he did. I think he called a buddy with a toolbox and they reassembled his car and he drove it off. But like, I mean, that's one thing when you are going through customs, like you really don't have any rights or anything. They can do whatever they want to you. They don't need probable cause or anything to like rip your car apart or look into orifices. Luckily, I haven't had that happen. But yeah, so pull it over and they give you a little slip and it's like, go in there and pay. And I think it must be something new because I think that was like the very first day that Canada started our little dumb trade war thing, whatever. So if I'm coming into Canada with something I bought in the United States, I have to pay a tariff, a tax to my government because I guess they're punishing me for shopping in the United States or something like that. Whatever. Don't get me started. Okay, yeah, so I ended up paying. Let's see what I can show you here. They print out all this paper for you and give you a receipt, and it was, I had to pay this much duty in Canadian dollars, $10.20. I think that covers all my personal information, and except for the last four numbers on my card. Oh well. And what else we got here? Yeah, so I was thinking, how would they charge all this stuff? And then I was looking on the second sheet. It is called a U.S. surtax. I think I could probably show you this, and it's not too incriminating. Yeah, so I had to come back, and you got to pay this U.S. surtax. And it's like, okay, whatever. That's your 25% tariff thing. And then they also hit you up for the GST, goods and services tax. So altogether, everything was $10.20 on a $20 book. US. So it was valued at 30 Canadian. So it was like pretty much like a 30% tax, not a 25. Okay, expensive book. Hope it's worth it. I just started doing that. And yeah, so if you are at the border, crossing the border, they seem to be a little, I don't know, a little bit more. Just drop my paper here. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, they're a little pickier these days. So keep that in mind if you're coming back and forth. So, and just do what you did when you were kids going back and forth across the border and your parents didn't want to pay duty. Go back to doing that. And if they catch you, you pay up. Big deal. So, oh, hey, Vanessa Kitty's here. Hi, too. Yeah, so I was gonna do that. And just before I got on here, I was yeah, I think I pretty much talked about everything I need to there. Just a little short thing, paying duty at the border. There's no real getting out of it. You don't want to lie or anything about that, but you can kind of forget. Oh, oh, I forgot about that in the trunk. Sorry. How much do I owe you? Here you go. But yeah, I was just before I came on here, I was fooling around with the settings and stuff. Like I had 5 minutes to kill before I went live, and there was I was checking out this thing Present, and I'd never done this before. It was like anytime I was doing something fancy on here, I had another screen set up. But this you are witnessing a brand new Super Pilot show, because now I can do cool stuff like this. Boom! Look at that. So this is probably, I'm at the level of about a kid in 6th grade, maybe 4th grade, doing presentations like this. So I got this off the internet, and that's what I didn't take this picture. I got it off the internet, but that's what the border looks like between Canada and the United States if you're going through the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel or Windsor-Detroit Tunnel, depending on who you're talking to. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then yeah, it's like I didn't know you could just do that. So you get some image, you stick it here, and then you share that and check it out. If where I went through yesterday, here's another picture that I didn't take, but I got it off the internet. So when if you're going into Windsor from Detroit, first you go through the tunnel here that goes underneath the Detroit River, and at one point it's there you go, like it shows United States and then Canada once you're across the imaginary line. So check this out. Now you're going to come into Canada, boom, and you're going to pull your car up to these little booths here, and you can see that there's French and English on there because and you can demand service in French if you want. But yeah, so that's taking you into downtown Windsor, and that's what you have to wait for. When they tell you pull it over, hey pal, pull it over, you kind of go out. There's a pretty good visible sign there that says where customs with a little arrow. You'll pull over to the right if they pull you over here, and you go in and pay. So yesterday I was there. I'm so happy that I got this little thing, and now I can show images and that. This is like I've been doing the show for what, 2.5 years, probably coming up on 3 years. I never knew you could do this kind of thing. So I mean, there's whatever. Maybe I haven't looked into it that much, but I don't get paid for this, so whatever. What am I going to do? Work 100 hours a week on not getting paid? Not really. I'm going to enjoy my life. So yeah, yeah. So that's kind of about it. I guess it's kind of a short show today. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah. So if you're wondering about The Man, The Moment Demands, the new book that's out, which I probably will do a review on, it's like, oh, here's a picture of Jason Wilson. Dun, 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 right on the back of the book. So I'm noticing I like Jason because my hair is better than him for now, because I got all this stuff back here, and he had to go chrome dome, so he's slightly balder than me, which I like, but I don't think I could ever get that huge, good-looking Papa Smurf beard like he has. Like, that's pretty hardcore. My mustache is usually kind of if I try to grow a beard, it's like, no, I got him beat on the top. He's got me beat on the bottom. So I'm not in competition with Jason Wilson. But anyways, that's the guy. And pretty cool. You can follow him on Twitter if you want. So yeah, so that's about it. Final remarks. Just take it easy at the border there. They are, I have a feeling they're quite a bit pickier these days. I would imagine in the United States going that way too, because we're all, I really hate the idea of this Canada and the United States being at a trade war. Whoa, but I think the media just does that to like hype us up and whoa. I don't know. It's kind of like I could get more political, but I'm not going to. So, anyways, wait till I have a couple beers and this is off. Which I'll probably do this weekend because it's the weekend. And I think, I'm going to say, Vanessa, it's just you and me today. So, hi. Anyways, sometimes you get shows like that. And glad you came by. And that's all we got. So today's Friday. I think I might be ordering pizza today. Maybe not. I did skip the dishes the other day for the first time. So what did we get? We got pupusas from a local El Salvadoran restaurant. That was good. And they're a lot more expensive pupusas up here than they are down in El Salvador, but still tasted pretty good. I think they could have been a little bit more greasy, though. It's a little bit more greasy in El Salvador than here. Maybe we're too healthy up here, but yeah, that was good. So I don't know if we'll do skip the dishes again, but probably have pizza. There you go. There's your dietary news from Super Pilot. And yeah, we'll just kind of see. Today's Friday, so be back on Monday. I will be back on Monday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern, and we'll shut her down. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for showing up, Vanessa Kitty, and have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye. Are we shut down here? What the heck? What?